Previously, we have seen how to create a Node API and connect it with MySQL database to enter data. So in this video, I will be showing you how to test the API that you have created. Okay, so let's start with an overview. Now, if you remember, Express is a module that you use to make your life simpler, in the sense that when you create your Node API, there is one way of creating the API using the HTML module, but then it requires a lot of coding. So Express helps you by wrapping the content of HTML and providing you with easy to use methods like post. Okay, so now the first thing you need to understand is the difference between post and get method. So what is the difference? Now, to understand that, you first need to think the server and your client as if they are real entities. So what happens is, when you have your server running over here, it is listening for post requests. Now, the difference between post and get request is, let's say you have your Android application which needs to retrieve some kind of data from the server. Okay, so what does it mean? Your application needs some data, so it gives a get request to the server. Okay, but let's say if the application needs to send some data to the server, then the type is post request. Okay, so in our application, let's say you want to incorporate a login feature where the first feature is registration. Okay, so in terms of user registration, you want to send your email and password as some data in a packet to the server. Okay, so that's why it's a post request. Now what happens is, when you send a post request to the server, it is listening for the post request on this link. Okay, so you have your base server, in our case it is localhost, and then you have this link /register. Okay, so it will be listening to the post request on register. Now to test it, we are going to use REST tool. Okay, so this is called Arc. Now what you need to do is, first of all, you need to test the post method, right? So you convert the method to post. Now in your directory, run your application. Now let's run our Node application, and this is the host where your server is running. Paste the link over here. Okay, it is running on /register, right? So this is your host and the port is 3012. On that we have a page called register. So you enter the link. So on your registration page, you want to receive a post request. Okay, so now we look at the content. As you can see, on this link we are expecting two types of data. The first is password and the other is email, right? So let's create variables, mock variables over here. Okay, you first need to change the content type. Select X www form URL encoded. Okay, now you can create a parameter name, which is email, and another one is password. Okay, so exactly as you have encoded it into your API. Now you can pass some values. Okay, so now we will send this packet Now let's look at the code. Okay, so what happens is when you send the packet, we extract it through the body. Okay, the body will have two parameters, which is password and email. So we have that in our variable. Okay, we do some operation which I explained already, and then if the query is successful, then we send the user this message: registration successful. Okay, and we can see it over here. 200 is the status code for success. Okay, and here is the output that we retrieved.